Blackbeard has now gone from a threat on the same scale as Chernobyl to a threat on the same scale as the thought of Amy Schumer having an assembly at your school. Don't ask me why this is what I chose to connect it to, I just had a really strange dream recently. Anyways, Blackbeard has been on the move recently, and from getting a copy of a few poneglyphs from Law to now having the image of an entire fucking Gorosei under his power, Blackbeard is insane. So let's talk about why he's by far the greatest threat to the entire world right now, and he's just, well, a great character. But first, let's talk about Blackbeard and me. I have made a handful of Blackbeard videos in the past, from talking about him and Luffy, to him and Shanks, and him, yet I just can't seem to stop thinking about him. Hey Doc, is there anything I can do to get this big, beautiful, luscious, hairy character out of my head? Hey, yeah, you could subscribe to Laughtale's Journey. Just pretend that was funny, the writer's block is hitting different right now. Blackbeard is currently the greatest threat to the entire world government, even though they don't really recognize it. While we've only ever viewed Blackbeard as a threat to Luffy or Shanks, it didn't even occur to me before this chapter that this man is just everyone's enemy. Like, he's the current sole unifying force in the entire show. Just like, everyone unanimously hates this man, and if you don't hate this man, you're probably on his crew. Anyways, after the most recent chapter, Blackbeard now has control over a crew member who can transform into a replica of a Gorosei, which means that he now has basically a get into Mary Joie free card, because the chances that most people will be able to tell the difference between Katarina Devon Saturn and Saturn is very, very, very small, and there's only a handful of characters who could actually tell the difference. This is insane for a shit ton of reasons, but it's only truly terrifying because it's Blackbeard. In any other person's hands, it would be terrifying, obviously, but not as bad as it is under this devious, careful man. He's genuinely one of the smartest characters in the show, and the fact is, with this much power and the ability to transform into a Gorosei under his hand, it's safe to say that he's gonna do something insane with it. He's too incredibly cunning to let a trump card as insane as this to go to waste. He's definitely going to find some way to maximize his gain from this ability, and in some sense, he's quite literally looks maxing. Get it? Because, like, look as in, like, okay, so when you, like, look like someone, but it's like look like, but it's also, like, maximizing the... I'm not even sad, I'm just disappointed at this point. What Blackbeard will do with this ability will be a mystery until he actually uses it, but it's safe to say that there's an insane amount of possibilities. Speaking of insane though, let's talk about declaring that you want the entire world right in front of a member of the Gorosei. I mean, regardless of if declaring this was the smartest thing or not, this is the most badass thing I've ever seen a villain do. I mean, to simply declare that you don't want something as trivial as the One Piece itself, but instead you just want the entire world, is just... damn, this shit goes hard. It's no secret that there have been some pretty good one-liners in this show, but it's insane that something as simple as the world could be one of, if not the hypest one-liners ever said. And it's not just the fact that they want to control everything that's terrifying, it's the fact that they said it right to the face of the Gorosei. How confident in Blackbeard would these two have to be to walk up to the person who pretty much rules the world and go, oh yeah, screw you, I'm coming for your shit. That's insane. These aren't just simple people, by the way. Katarina Devon and Usopp on steroids are criminals who would betray anyone to advance their own goals. And the fact that they put so much trust into Blackbeard just shows how terrifying this man himself is. And to top it all off, somehow, Caribou's the person to take them to the next level. How is this man, who has been abused by every member of the Straw Hat, who stuck to us like toilet paper on his shoe, how is he the one who will possibly end up giving Teach the most important information in the world? I mean, can you imagine Blackbeard of all people when he finds out that there are two ancient weapons, one of which is relatively unguarded and the other one on Wano? If you think this man is going to sit by and let this opportunity slide, you are incredibly mistaken. This information will genuinely make Blackbeard the happiest man ever. He's not going to let something as valuable as this slide by because, well, we all know how much of an opportunist he is. Overall though, Blackbeard is the perfect character, and as time goes on, more and more of his dealings come to the spotlight, and it's clear that he's genuinely insane. He's the big threat to the world's stability, and even though the world government may not recognize it right now, especially since their attention is diverted, somehow a threat larger than anything they could have ever imagined is arising, and the only person to stop Blackbeard is you pressing the subscribe. That was a cheap shot.